Hi everyone. I wanted to make a quick video about just something that, we've been doing since we were laid off. And one of those things is budgeting for groceries. Now, before Dave and I were both working, we were always at Whole Foods. We were always at Target, all these expensive places to shop. So ever since we were laid off, we stopped shopping at Whole Foods like immediately. And honestly, before that, after staying home with the kids for 2 years, I was like, we should probably start looking at other options of where to shop, because we started to notice the prices, of course, went up because of inflation everywhere in 2022. So I kind of got tired of dealing with the, percentages of cost, which one is more, which one's worth it. And I just cold turkey is like, I'm done. I'm going to go find another store. So this leads me to my Aldi's trip. So I have started shopping at Aldi's and I love it. I've been cooking with HelloFresh. Of course, we canceled that. We just can't afford that. Then I'm like, let me just look for some recipes. I have this great recipe book. Most of their stuff is like paleo, some stuff without rice, but I do substitute with rice because I love rice. So I just started saying, I'm going to go to the store and buy my own foods. It's about the ingredients that you put into it, right? So the other meat quality may not be as good at Aldi's as Whole Foods, which I think is okay. They have organic foods, they have organic meats, and I think I love them. I think it's fine. But I learned that if you know how to cook and you know how to add your ingredients and put things in there that makes the dish taste yummy, it's going to be fine whether you use Whole Foods or Aldi's. So I have been shopping at Aldi's, and we've been going to the farmers market in Raleigh. They have a really big farmers market that's every day for, I think it's about 10 hours a day. And it's amazing. And I just found out about this not too long ago from a friend. So it was one of those things that was like, things happen for a reason, because as soon as I found out about that farmer's market, not too long ago, Dave lost his job. And I started to learning how to budget and how to cook with the food that I purchased from the farmer's market. Now, the only things I really got from the farmer's market, I would get like fruits and vegetables, little sweets here, coffee. But I didn't buy my meats from there. And I don't know why, they had good meats. It wasn't a big selection of meats, so I figured I'd stick with going to Aldi's for that. So the whole idea of this going to Aldi's and going to the farmer's market was to stay within a $150 budget. We were spending $300 a week on food. So I'm like, okay, if I can cut that in half, make everything at home, buy a bunch of whole foods, no processed foods, and just make all of my meals for $150, I will be super happy. All right, so all in all, after we did all of our shopping, I did come home. I laid everything out on the table because I wanted to see, what did we get for $150? How did this happen? Why didn't I do this before? So we put everything out on the table. I just wanted to see what we have and what I can make out of everything that I have. Of course, I had my recipes before we went to the store, but I wanted to see how we made out. So after everything was laid out, I went through the totals and I added everything up. Found this amazing spreadsheet that helps you budget and stay on budget with your food. It also tells you how much you're getting per ounce, per gram, and it compares it to other grocery stores. So this was something I found that is very helpful. It is time consuming, but once you plug in everything that you usually buy on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, it's one time and you won't have to do it again. But it gives you a chance to see what you're purchasing and where you're purchasing from, and if you're saving money or if you're losing money. And then on the very first screen of that, it shows you, hey, this is where, you spent here, or this supermarket was more expensive than this supermarket. So I think that's a really great tool to use. And it's just something I found on Google Sheets. Google Sheets is awesome. I didn't have to make the spreadsheet, but it is very helpful. Okay, so we had a goal of $150. That's what we set. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the farmer's market first. So like I said, we got, sweet potatoes, we got blueberries, all the whole foods that we need from the farmer's market. And I ended up spending a total of $52.15 at the farmer's market, which is pretty great for veggies and fruits and all the miscellaneous stuff that we did purchase from there. And from Aldi's, I ended up spending a total of $61.51. Pickup was $2. Like I said, the nickel and diming, but if you look at it, Whole Foods would have been way more expensive, even with free pickup. So I'm pretty happy with that one. And that one was, you know, some of the ingredients that I made for some of the meals that I will show later in the video, and some, you know, little miscellaneous things in there as well. And then I had to go to Target. I had to get my meats and a few other things that Aldi's didn't have, which is fine. It wasn't huge, and Target does pick up, so plus. I ended up spending a total of $38.07 with free pickup, which wasn't bad at all. Like I said, there's some of the stuff that I needed that I didn't have from Aldi. And with that, our $150 goal. I don't know if we made it or not, but let's see. So with everything added up, I ended up spending a total of $151.73. So I did go over by a little over $1, and that $2 pickup fee, but that's okay. That's okay. I can go over by $1.73. That's totally fine. That's better than going over by $100, which I usually would do if I would have went to Trader Joe's or to Whole Foods. So I think we made out pretty well. Like I said, I made some yummy dishes. Super amazing. It was one dish I made. Dave came in the house and he was like, oh my gosh, it smells like Chinese food in here. So here are some things I ended up making. So I ended up making this dish. It's like a beef and broccoli dish. It was super simple. It was ground beef, broccoli, and it was frozen broccoli. And then it was like some veggies and some rice. You could substitute with cauliflower, but I did do rice. And that with the extra ingredients, like I didn't use fish sauce in it, but I did use all the other things in it, and it was absolutely amazing. I actually made it twice because it was so good. And I would probably say that was one of my favorites that I made. And then I would say my second favorite dish, this was around Father's Day. So I always love to make a special meal for Dave for Father's Day. His very special meal, ribs. He's super simple. So I made some ribs with, you know, barbecue marinade and some fresh green beans and these sweet potatoes. So these sweet potatoes, they are sweet potatoes with banana and caramelized sauce with maple syrup. Now I know it sounds weird because you're like, sweet potatoes and bananas, but y'all, let me tell you, it is so good. I think I've made this about 3 or 4 times since I've learned this recipe, and I definitely say do it, recommend it. It's like a dessert, but it also can be a side dish. And then another thing I did make some curry garbanzo beans, chickpeas. I had some chickpeas from Whole Foods a while ago, and I'm like, let me see what I have in this cabinet that I can make. I already had some curry powder. So I did that. I had a red pepper and some onions left over. So I did cut that up. This probably was my least favorite. So we don't use salt in our food. Once in a blue moon, I may use a little teeny bit, but our foods already have salt infused into them most of the time. So I try not to use as much salt. You know, high blood pressure in our community is really high, so I try to do away with it. But this one needed more salt than I wanted, and I probably won't make this again because of that. But other than that, it was a lot left over. I ate it the next day, and you know, it turned out pretty good. It was a really quick meal for me. And then this was also a good one. It was meatloaf. So I made a meatloaf meal with chopped up potatoes and green beans. And Dave actually really loved it. He thought it was amazing. So that was probably when I just threw together that it was just like, oh, what do we have in here? You know, it's like once you get Whole Foods, once you get your meats, you can make anything. And you know, you may have the seasonings that you need, or you may not. Go grab a few seasonings, but once you have everything you need in the house when you're doing your grocery shopping, then you can, you know, put some meals together. Some you may already have planned out, but I found that I made some meals just from what I had in the house, and that worked out pretty well. Another easy meal. So many meals, y'all. Like I went from not cooking to cooking my butt off after getting laid off. So this is a baked potato. This is actually one I got from my friend. It's called a loaded baked potato. So all it is a baked potato. We did buy the not microwavable chicken. So we did end up buying chicken that you can put to the oven that's already prepared with barbecue sauce and everything. The next time I may make my own, but this worked out pretty well at the moment. This is like a really, really quick meal. So I had the potato, you know, chicken in the oven. And then once all that's done, you put those two together. You put the chicken on top of the potato, and then you can add on your topping. So we did shredded cheese. We did some green onions. We did some crunchy onions and sour cream. And that was so good. It's super simple. The potatoes what takes the longest to go into the oven, but other than that, it was really, really good. And then this last meal that I made was from some of the leftover potatoes I had and some kale. I did end up going to the store because we ran low on meat. So I ended up going to our local store and purchasing a rotisserie chicken. And I always was like, rotisserie chicken's from the store that's already cooked. Yeah, this rotisserie chicken was the best rotisserie chicken I've ever had. It was so juicy. It was just like really, really, really good. It was really good. So I ended up buying that and putting together a little meal of, the rotisserie chicken and leftover sweet potatoes that I, mixed in my goodness, my good sweetness stuff in, and some kale. And that turned out pretty well too. So that is how I managed to go from $300 to $150 in groceries after being laid off. I don't like to mention the laid off part too much, but I have to say that because I have to let people know that, it's okay to be laid off. You're going to find another job. Things will work out. But in the meantime, there are ways that you can budget to make your money stretch and make your money go far. The money that you saved or any unemployment that you're on, it's okay. Like you've got this. Like I said, I would have never cooked this much if we wouldn't have been laid off. I was cooking HelloFresh all the time. But now I feel like I have the urge to cook now. Like I want to feed my family fresh whole meals. And by shopping at discount stores like Aldi's and having, budget planned out on what I want to buy, having my recipes planned out, I did it. We did it. And it feels good. It feels really good. Hey babe, what did you think about all the meals that I cooked?
They were wonderful.
Yeah, what was your favorite?
The beef and broccoli.
The beef and broccoli. I told y'all the beef and broccoli was good. All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in and seeing how we went from $300 to $150 a week of grocery shopping. And we'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.